Solana has one of the strongest communities in the Web3 space, and it wasn't built by accident. In this video, I'll break down the crux of Solana's community marketing, why it works, and how they've managed to pull it off in such a short span of time. Stick around till the end to understand how Solana have created such a strong community. Now, for those of you who don't know, Solana is a layer 1 blockchain used worldwide for its high transaction speeds and low costs, and it's gained significant traction due to its thriving community. Now, Solana's community is known throughout the Web3 space as being extremely tight-knit and extremely active, and almost borders on a cult. It has been one of the main driving forces behind the network's success. And I think the reason for this is Solana's community-centric marketing approach. Now, the end goal in marketing for most Web3 projects is to create a self-sufficient and aligned community that essentially becomes ambassadors for the product and becomes your strongest form of word of mouth. Now, Solana has managed to effectively crack that formula for creating a strong community, and essentially it has three core components. It's community alignment, so having the majority of the community align on the mission of the brand or the product in question, and push that out as such. It's constant activation, so make sure there's always something to do for the community to ensure that they are not getting bored or looking for the next best thing. And thirdly, it's the many-to-many relationships that you can build within the community, which Solana have done extremely well. Starting off with community alignment. For a community to properly act as your organic marketing force and that driving force to kind of push you out without you having to be there, alignment needs to be met in the following areas. And it's generally in an economic... For a community to properly act as your organic marketing force, alignment needs to be met in the following key areas: economic alignment and cultural alignment. Now, in the Web3 space, most communities are economically aligned because when a project has a token, the community who are token holders generally have a stake in the financial future of the project. So it's in their best interest to support the token's price by promoting the project. Now, the second is a little bit more hard to capture, and that is cultural alignment. So making sure that the community is all got the same ideals and are on the same wavelength as to why they want the project to succeed, and they all hold the same values. Now, generally cultural alignment is pretty tough to achieve, but Solana seem to have got this down for the most part pretty well. Second is constant activation. So Web3 users, like many new age digitally accustomed audiences, can be extremely fickle, especially with that financial element to the market. If something isn't really going your way, it's always a case of opportunity cost. Can you take your funds and your time and your effort elsewhere to support a different project? Now, to ensure steady community growth and stickiness, activation of communities is extremely important. And essentially what we're trying to say here is that there's always something for the community to do, whether that is a challenge, a game, a competition, a hackathon, or some other form of contribution. This is exactly how you help people feel more attached to the brand. A community that is constantly engaging with the brand feels more attached and really part of the community. So it's important to always have something to do. Otherwise, you run the risk of just having them feel like you are talking to them versus building with them, which is how they really want to feel. Excuse me. And finally, many-to-many interactions. So ultimately, a core part of community is being able to foster value sharing amongst its members, right? It's not a community if it's just you speaking to them. That's just an audience. A real community is having those interactions between the members and having them have their own relationships and cultivate their own value between each other. And this allows the community to become somewhat autonomous without the assistance of the company or project behind it. So, creating many-to-many interactions and developing relationships between community members is really key to achieving this longevity and this sustainability. And this can be done in many ways. And we will get into Solana have managed to do it below. So one of the most important drivers for Solana success has been Superteam. Now, Superteam is a developer collective supporting the growth of the Solana ecosystem all over the world, originating in India and now spanning from Mexico to Vietnam. Superteam are essentially localized hubs supporting the growth of the Solana network and the builders on the network. And not only builders, but also creatives and other community members as well. Now, they support in everything from fundraising to dev support and build support and marketing and everything in between. And they have been very pivotal for providing a support network for all builders. Now, a really key thing here is that Superteam have been really good at providing that localized relationship building as they host consistent events, mini hackathons depending on where you are, and they always provide a place for community to come and engage with each other and create relationships, whether it is at a workshop or an after work drinks event. They are providing an area where people can come and mingle and understand other builders in the space, while also providing that support that will help them kind of reach that next level of their journey, of their builder journey. So on a localized level, Superteam are facilitating the constant activation, the many-to-many relationships, and ensuring that there is alignment within the community and getting everyone kind of on the same path. Now, the second part of their wider Solana community marketing is this, what I like to call the events flywheel. And essentially, Solana seem to do a very good job of activating the community on a global scale, not only on a localized level. And this looks something like this diagram here. Every year there is a conference, a Solana community conference called Breakpoint. And between breakpoints, there are a plethora of events worldwide in different regions. And those could be global hackathons, such as Hyperdrive or Colosseum that we've seen in the last year, more localized hackathons, more niche-specific hackathons, other events, hack houses, and everything in between. Now, what seems to be working really well is that the big events work in tandem with the Solana Superteam, sprints and stuff like that, whereby super teams will engage either new audiences or existing localized audiences, and then it will be in the run-up to a larger Solana event to activate the full community that way. For example, we did some work with Superteam UK. We've written some content for them, and we helped them set up an event in the north of England in the University of York. And some really good insight from them was they work in sprints, whereby they will do, let's say, X amount of university events to engage students. And then at the end of that, this is in the lead up to something a lot bigger, whereby it could have been the next hackathon on the global scale. So that way, all the engagement and all the activation and the relationship building that they've done in the last X amount of months, maybe let's call it a 3-month sprint, has something at the end of it, which is to convert those students into participants into a hackathon, and hence continue that activation of the community. So there's always something to look forward to in the Solana ecosystem, whether it's a hackathon or a hacker house or a retreat here or something there. We're always continuing that cycle of events and ensuring that their engagement and fostering the sense of community is, it's constant. It's not a choppy endeavor. And this is really key to ensuring, the community is always engaged, they're always building new relationships, and they are staying sticky with the brand. And this has had a crazy impact on their growth. I mean, a lot of the Solana community, as we've touched on before, are borderline cultish. They have an inherent evangelism about the product now. And the community does a great job of marketing the network to others. And of course, unlike traditional marketing, whereby it's a brand talking to an audience, they have managed to cultivate a lot of many-to-many interactions and create real value that spreads across the ecosystem. For example, if I went to an event and I met someone that I thought was really aligned, and we started building a product together, we might build it on Solana, and that way we're providing more value to the ecosystem, which would be a lot more value than that would be provided if the case was it was just me talking to them on a screen, for example, and not having that opportunity to meet people and really build a relationship with others. And essentially, this allows the ecosystem to grow through collective effort rather than a top-down, more traditional approach. Like, the power of community is pretty crazy once you can get to a certain level. You know, if you can empower your community and foster a sense of ownership and evangelism within them of the product that they're a community of, it can do really wonders for your product. The constant activation of community helps drive innovation, development, and adoption of the product, and in this case it's Solana, and it has done extremely well. And again, this all leads to the sustainable growth that the community is driving, because it's a self-sustaining machine. Now that there's inherent relationships within the community, they can drive the community and expand the community autonomously without the support of the brand behind it. So that's it for understanding the foundations of Solana's community building. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And don't forget to subscribe for more Web3 content. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.